Hello, my dear friends. I welcome you all to this wonderful day for a beautiful wisdom sharing session. And today the topic is called Toward the Future, my dear friends. And it's a very important subject for all of us to learn and to apply in our life. If you find it helpful, please bring a pen and a paper handy with you so that you can, if you want to, you can make some notes down, you can make some points. So, my dear friends, with your permission, I'd like to start a beautiful presentation which I've made just for you, exclusively for you. Thank you so much for joining in. And to learn something new is what we are all here about. So my name is Parinitha Patri, and I'm here to present a beautiful topic called as Toward the Future. So let's begin, my dear friends. Let's begin. All right, my dear friends, this particular topic, Toward the Future, has been taken from a book called as Education as Transformation, Volume 2, written by Torquem Seradarian. This is such a beautiful topic that I wanted to share with you. And whenever I give a session or wisdom session, I definitely give the reference. I definitely give the author from whom this wisdom is being shared by. So if you want to get more info, you can go and read the book Education as Transformation, Volume 2 by Torquem Seradarian, my dear friends. So this is one of the few masterpieces that he has shared with all of us. So my dear friends, I'd like to ask you, what is future? What do you mean by future? You can type in your answers. You can do anything. Just let's make it more interactive. What does future mean to you? What exactly is future for you? Future is uncertain, but what is future? How do you define future? What exactly do you think is future? Is what the question is. And let us get our mind thinking, let us get our creative juices running up and keep thinking about what is future. Yes, it is upcoming time. Yes. Our hopes and expectations and blind game, byproduct of a present moment. Okay, done. Very good. I like this. I like all the answers which are coming up. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And let us now understand what is future, because there are many definitions or many things that we call as future, but there are basically three kinds of futures which we all do. All right. The first one is that by the word future, we usually understand three things. The first definition is time. Future is a time. We use this sentences called as past, present, and future tense. Future tense is time. If you build a house in 10 years' time, 10 years is the future. 1 year is the future. Tomorrow is the future. And the coming years are the future, my dear friends. And we say, in the future, we will meet again. Who knows when we'll meet? And whether we'll meet or not, who knows? Whether we'll be there on Earth planet or not, who knows? But we will meet. That's what we say. Maybe in 50 years, 5 years. Time is one of the definitions of the future. The time element. So now we come to the second definition. It's related to a condition in which you will live. For example, to build your future means to have a prosperous, happy life, to have a position which will meet your dreams. That is the second definition. First one is time, and the second one is condition. You build your future. That's what the second one is. And now let's come to the third one. The third definition is related to our beingness, to our essence, and to our actualization. So if you see that, the future is within you. It is within you. You're the past, you're the present, and you're the future. And it is all within you. The core within us is the future. The future is hidden within us. as an acorn hidden in the soul. Acorn is nothing but a seed of a tree. So this particular seed has to grow and become a tree. It must actualize itself. It must become itself. And it must turn itself into its future. So what are the all possibilities that are there for the future? The core seed has all the possibilities of unfolding and becoming like the vision put within it. So vision is not out there somewhere, my dear friends. It is all within you. You are the future. Your core essence is the future. That is what it is, my dear friends. And here I put in front of you the 3 definitions of future. Some of you might have known it already. Some of you might have learned it. Some of you are now learning it. So those are the definitions of future. One is time, one is condition, and the other one is beingness. Are you being the future? And then we come to the human spark. The human spark is the seed future, but it must also actualize itself and be conscious of what it is. Once a soul becomes the future, the other definitions of the future no longer hold your interest because they do not exist in the domain of infinity. If you become the future, does time and condition appeal to you? It wouldn't, because you are the future. The only future which will always actualize toward higher and higher perfection is the core of man, which is beyond all fluctuations, attachments, cravings, and limitations of the 3 worlds. And what are these 3 worlds, my dear friends, which we are referring to here? The physical world, the emotional world, and the mental world. So we refer to future in these 3 worlds: physical, emotional, and mental. So when our soul becomes the future, there's infinity over there. And it's no longer affected by these 3 bodies. That's the human spark. So our attainment, the expression of the full glory hidden within us, is the future, which is not related to time, form, positions, or possessions. Why? This is because to be a future means to have a state of consciousness. It's a consciousness. Future is a consciousness. Future is not distant. Future is not somewhere. Future is not indefinite. Future is not uncertain. Future is not something else. It is a state of consciousness, which is not subject to the demands of time and space, to the demands of possessions and positions related to the 3 worlds: physical, emotional, and mental. My dear friends. So the time has come to realize your glory hidden within you. Let us all learn to become that kind of a state of consciousness. What is your consciousness? We will study all about what future is right now. You will get to know everything about what is future. So how can we build our future? Or in other words, how can we release the glory hidden within our core? Just like a seed of a flower which slowly grows, unfolds, and radiates its beauty, color, and fragrance. How do we do that? How do you build your future? Because our future depends on what we are now, on how we think, speak, act, and respond and react now. And there are 7 futures of human being. This means that we can unfold our inner glory with the 7 colors and notes and orchestrate our glory into a symphony. Let us learn how we can build our future, how we can release the glory within ourselves, that is hidden within ourselves. So now we come to the second point, which is what is the future of a human being, which is you, me, everyone, all of us, human beings. What is our future going to be? There are 7 futures, my dear friends, of a human being. Now we will study one by one, little by little. The first one, my dear friends, is the real future of a human being is to be an immortal being. Every time we speak, think, and do things as if we were mortal beings, we build hindrances on our path to immortality. What is mortal? What is immortal? Mortal is you're a temporary person. You are a limited being. Immortal means infinite. You are living forever. Mortal is you live for a certain period of time only. For example, oh, may you live long for 100 years. That is mortality. So let's strive to become an immortal being. We must try to change our way of thinking, talking, and acting, and we must live as immortal beings. That is the first future of a human being, my dear friends. Check yourself, check your words, check your, the way you talk, the way you interact with people. How are you interacting with them? Are you talking to them as a mortal being or an immortal being? There's something that you need to ponder upon yourself. We just need to have a change of consciousness, a shift in consciousness. A shift in perspective is all it needs. It's as simple as that. It's very simple. Once you change your way of thinking, you will see how much you are occupied with past values and with the concept of death. We do so many things. Before death comes, I need to fulfill all these things. Before death comes, I need to finish all these things. Before death comes, I need to settle my family. Before death comes. Don't we think that sometimes, my dear friends? What if I die? Living as an immortal being will increase your strength of survival. It will make you full of joy, striving, and success. And those who live as immortal beings are successful, victorious people, because they are in the process of actualizing their inner glory. Isn't that beautiful? No. Wonderful to know, my dear friends. Just think about it. I'll not rush through this presentation. I'll just give you the time to absorb, to assimilate things as you learn, keep learning new things. When you live in the concept of death and dying, you go deeper into matter, pain, suffering, separatism, and death. Think about it. Is that true or not? In your case, in anyone's case. And if you live in the concept of immortality, you attract material values, but they do not enslave you. You do not become the slave of matter. You do not become the slave of material things because you believe in immortality. You believe that you will live forever. You're an infinite being. And you use them in such a way that they help the flower of the future within you to bloom. And within others also to bloom. By becoming the state of by becoming the consciousness of an immortal being, you not only bloom yourself, but you will help others to bloom as well. You will help others to make them realize, make them remember that you are an immortal being, my dear. You're not limited. You're unlimited. You have lots of potential. But what makes us think of all these things is the concept of death and dying, the fear of it gets to us and makes us do certain things. Fear grips us and makes us do everything. So then what are we up to? What are you up to? What am I up to? Is what we need to understand for ourselves. Let's come to the second one. The second future is harmony with all living forms. It is integration and unity. Before the cells of your body were part of the body, they were separate lives. And over many millions of years, they came together, created harmony with each other, and eventually formed your physical body. Now they live as one body. Now the question is, are you integrated and unified within yourself? Are you one person within yourself? Are you living with all forms in harmony? Do you believe in integrity or separation? That is the future of the human being. That is the second future of the human being, which is integration and unity and living with all forms in peace, in harmony, in unity, in oneness. Just now, an example has been given. Your cells of the body, they were spread out earlier as filaments, but they came together and made one beautiful thing, which is you. A beautiful body with a purpose, with a future. So then what do we learn from the cells of our body is unity. They know because they have come a long way to become you. Now, what do we learn from these atoms or molecules or anything? To become one, to become unified. At least become unified with yourself. For that, we need to master all the three bodies, the physical, emotional, and mental bodies, my dear friends. That is when you will be able to live in integrity, in unity, in harmony with all the living forms, all the kingdoms. The same thing happened to individual human beings. They formed families, races, nations, and eventually they started to sense the vision of one humanity in which all will live in harmony with each other and with the whole. And this is why it is wrong to exploit people, to use them for our own advantage, to hate other people and create cleavages in humanity. Such steps do not lead us to the future, but prevent us from understanding our future and walking towards it. So then, please ask yourself, are you living in harmony with all that exists, all that lives, or are you being separatistic? We all know that it is wrong to exploit people. We all know that we cannot use others for our advantage. We all know that it is wrong to hate people. We all know that it is wrong to create a divide and rule policy, create cleavages among humanity. We all know. But then are we applying it into our life is what the question is. A cosmic family a unified family, a family living in harmony is what we all want. We all want a united family. But are we ourselves living in unity? We all want love, but are we loving? We all want trustworthy persons, but am I being trustworthy? We all want everyone to be happy, but am I being happy? So beingness, my dear friends, that is the third point, which is beingness. Are you being that? Are you being unity? Are you being integrated? Is the question here. And I would like to repeat this sentence once again. That is why it is wrong to exploit people, to use them for your own advantage, to hate other people and create cleavages in humanity. You don't have to sit here and correct everyone. Oh, he did this, he did that. What did she do? What did he do? No. You're not here sitting to judge others, to blame others. We are here to check ourselves. Are we in that beingness or not? Let us start thinking on these terms. Let us start creating a beautiful future for you, me, and everyone by being that. When you are separative, the future is lost for you. And those who lose the future will eventually fall into the hands of the chaotic forces in the universe and poof, disappear. And all separatism is related to the past. The future is inclusiveness and synthesis and togetherness and oneness and unity. So if you believe in separatism, if you practice separatism, then you're a thing of the past. If you want to work for the future, if you want to be the future, if you want to become the future, be inclusive. Be in sync with everything and everyone. Be together, be one with yourself and with everyone, with all the living forms. So if you're old school, then you're separative. If you're the new school, then you're inclusive. As simple as that. And those who do not live in the future have no future. The future is related to time, and the real future has nothing to do with time. In essence, the future starts where the time is transcended. People of the future strive to free themselves from the limitations of time in order to actualize the future. Does time control you, my dear friends? Does time really dictate what you must do, what you must not do? We say we live in a timeless place. But do we really mean that? Our future is dependent on time. I will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I will finish my degree in 2023. I will get a job in this. So it's all based on time. And people of the future strive to free themselves from the limitations of time in order to actualize the future. Beingness, my dear friends, not the time or condition. And if a person is not progressively unfolding the divine principle within him, he has no future. That's why Patriji says, my dear friends, my dear masters, my dear gods, to bring out the divinity from you is what he all wants. His future is a reflection of the past. His future is a trap built by his retrograde actions. He will enslave himself in them and degenerate, shrink. If a person is not progressively unfolding the divine principle within him. We need to do all this step by step, by step, by step, by step, slowly and steadily, because this is not the only incarnation that we have. We are immortal beings. Let's go slowly, steadily, steadfastly, slowly increasing our consciousness, expanding our consciousness. And the sentence said by Patriji is not a small thing. You create your own reality. It's such a big, big, big statement, my dear friends. You create your own reality is a big statement. But what do? We put that in time, in condition, but not in beingness. All we need is beingness, my dear friends. And when you're separated, the future is lost for you. Okay. So the third one, my dear friends, the third future is victory over time and space. When time and space are conquered, you will be closer to your future than before. Space eliminates time and you become your own essence. The goal of the human being is to be conscious without the barrier of space and time. What happens when you meditate, my dear friends? You go into infinite space. You go into timelessness. You visit so many beautiful places. You see colors. You meet people. You do so many things. And when you come back, time has just gone by like that. So then, does time really exist? Does space, is it limited or is it infinite? So, my dear friends, the goal of the human being is to be conscious without the barrier of space and time. Timelessness is in the essence of space, and man in his highest expansion is space. How do you consider yourself as? The third future of a human being is to win over time and space. That is the third one, my dear friends. Let us discuss now the fourth one. What is the fourth future? The fourth future for a human being is cosmic awareness. What is cosmic awareness? We have different kinds of awareness. We have family awareness. We know what's all happening in our family, with our mother, with our father, with our husband, wife, children, and all that. We know everything that is happening with our family. We know what is happening in our body. We know what is happening in our mind. We know what is happening in the emotions. We know what is happening with the money that we have earned. We know what is happening in the society because we read news. We are aware. We are aware. We read about politics. We read about wars. We read about earthquakes and catastrophes. We are aware. We know. But what about cosmic awareness? That is the fourth future of a human being, which is cosmic awareness. What is happening in the cosmos? What is happening in the solar systems, in the planetary logos? In my emotional plane, in my mental plane, in my spiritual plane, in my astral plane. What is happening? Am I aware? try to work yourself out from small awareness and slowly build your awareness to cosmic awareness. That is the future of a human being. Awareness is the result of expansion of consciousness, my dear friends, and that is where meditation comes in. What do you do with meditation? You expand your consciousness. You expand your awareness. And when you transcend the mental plane and focus yourself in the intuitional plane, my dear friends. Do you know what is happening in your intuitional plane? Do you know what is happening in the mental plane? Are you aware? Do you know what is happening there? That is what is called sensitivity, my dear friends. When you meditate, you become sensitive to these frequencies. You will become sensitive and you will get to know. See, if I make a sound in your house, you will listen, you will get to hear, and you will sense it. And you will find out, and now you're aware that a sound has come in your house. And meditation will do that for you to make you sensitive. When I say sensitive, it means that you can sense things. You can catch the frequencies and tune yourself into those frequencies. And that is how you become a person of cosmic awareness. I'm sure this is all new for some, if I have to say. So this is the fourth one, my dear friends. And see, you will be aware of all that is going on in the system, including the three lower planes. What are the three lower planes? As I said, physical, emotional, and mental. These are the three lower planes. So if you observe a person on the path of perfection, you will see how much life after life, his consciousness increased. Compare a cell with the body and then see the body as a cell in a higher body. You are aware of many things going on in your system. The awareness will increase until you are totally aware of what is going on in your physical, emotional, and mental planes. Isn't it true, my dear friends? You are aware, you know. From knowingness, we need to become a beingness. First, we need to get into the form of knowingness, of awareness. When you reach the intuitional plane, you will be a part of a body in which, in comparison with it, you are a conscious cell. Imagine what a great change you must go through in order to expand into cosmic consciousness, my dear friends. Just imagine the labor, the striving, the hard work that you have to do to expand your consciousness into becoming cosmic consciousness. But such an achievement is possible for you. It is your future. You can postpone, you can delay, you can do anything that you want, but that is your future. But that is your future. A baby, if I tell him that, the small child, my dear, you will one day become an adult. The baby will laugh. No, I will never become an adult. I will always remain like this child only. So no matter how that there's restraint within themselves, that is the future. Life's crisis will make us realize that and become that awareness, become that cosmic consciousness to be our future. Let's come to the fifth one, my dear friends. The fifth future of a human being is complete blooming. If you go to an orchard, you will see many different kinds of trees. One tree has 2 or 3 flowers and the rest of the blossoms have not opened yet. A few days or weeks later, you can see that the whole tree is blooming. All the potential of the tree have come into expression. And the core of the tree unfolds towards its future. We all need to bloom. Some of us have already bloomed. Some of us are still in the process. Some of us have not started yet. But our future is to bloom completely, my dear friends. And the greatest healing factor is the awareness of the future. This is beneficial not only for our physical health, but also for our emotional and mental health. The awareness of the future eliminates many sore points and tension areas in our psyche, because we will lose all the fears of death and dying. And that's why it eliminates all the sore points and tensions in our psyche. What is psyche? It is our soul. It is the mind. Now let's come to the sixth point, my dear friends. The sixth future for a human being is omniscience. And people do not believe that such a thing is possible. But now we see that a giant computer can accumulate so much data in its system that it can almost be considered omniscient, becoming omnipresent, omniscience, my dear friends. All that is, all that you are everything. Everything is you. You are one, or one is you. That is being omniscience. So compare a child's knowledge with the knowledge of a college graduate. Compare the capacity of knowing in people who lived 2 million years ago with the capacity of people living now in the complex of universities. Once, H.B. Blavatsky, a great master, was asked, "What is the future of an atom and a man?" And she said, "Every atom strives to be a man, and every man strives to be a god." That is the future. So we need to become omniscient. Omniscient means all that is. That is God. That's the divinity within you expressing itself. So that is the sixth future of a human being, my dear friends. That is being omniscient. Omniscience. That is what our future is. Your future is waiting for you. You're not waiting for the future. We are waiting for our future. Isn't it? Or the future is waiting for us. The future is already there. It is just waiting for it to actualize itself. The atom and man are striving toward the future. And is there a level of the future where the future ends? Or is it endless as the Supreme itself? Man will not only find the mechanical means to expand the field of his knowledge, but he will also discover psychic means to hook his mental computer to the universal and cosmic computer in order to know whatever he needs to know instantaneously. Can you connect your computer to the universal computer? Can you connect your computer to the cosmic computer, my dear friends? Can you do that? That's your future. That too happens instantaneously. And such an achievement is already taking place in many people's lives, everywhere. People in certain degrees are able to tune in to memory disks in space or to be telepathically hooked to each other's minds. And only blind fanatics are not able to see the moving current of a higher civilization because they're stuck, they're crystallized. Crystallized people cannot move forward unless those crystallizations break down and melt away. So this one more question that we need to ask ourselves: am I crystallized in my thoughts, in my beliefs, in what I say the truth is? That is being a fanatic. Every atom is striving to become the future. Every man is striving to become God, to bring out the divinity within themselves. Every mind is striving to connect to the higher computer, the universal computer, the cosmic computer. What are you getting connected to? That is the future. Slowly and steadily, we need to start assimilating this knowledge and actualize it. That is what wisdom happens. That is when wisdom happens. Now we come to the final future of a human being, my dear friends. The seventh future of a human being is ultimate bliss. Lord Buddha spoke about nirvana, a state of ultimate bliss in which nothing can agitate you. What agitates you, my dear friends? What disturbs you? What brings out an unwanted reaction from you? That is what we need to understand. Such a state of bliss is within us, and we will release and actualize it sooner or later. Our essence, our core essence is bliss. You are bliss. You just have to know it. You just have to remember it. You just have to remind yourself of it, that you are actually bliss. And nothing can agitate you. Nothing can disturb you. Nothing can bring out unwanted reactions from you. And as the core unfolds, our being is flooded first with joy and then with bliss. When I'm saying nothing can agitate you, nothing can disturb you, it's not like you're actually getting disturbed, but you're not showing it. It doesn't mean that. You're actually not getting disturbed. You're actually not getting agitated. You're actually not getting irritated with anything that happens around you. That is ultimate bliss. That is the seventh and the final future of a human being, my dear friends. And this is a beautiful rainbow. Your future is a beautiful rainbow. And Lord Buddha has given us many teachings, one of which is Anapanasati meditation, a gift, a boon to all of us. So let us all meditate and dwell in the beingness of the future. That is what this is all about. And now, my dear friends, we come to the third point and finish the seventh point in detail first. And we are told that a person will then even be able to live in nirvanic consciousness while he is in his physical body. Buddha lived in his nirvanic consciousness while being in his body, my dear friends. And it's not something new. It's not something that I'm telling you very, it's as if it's news to everyone. We all know that. What kind of a person he will be? He will radiate peace, serenity, joy, and understanding. He will have the power to heal, uplift, and enlighten people. He will be extremely creative and well-rooted in the higher will. There are different kinds of wills, my dear friends, which I'll explain later. There's a whole new concept of willpower, of will. What are the different types of will is what we will understand later. What is higher will? What is the higher will? Are we going according to the higher will or having our own wills being given priority to? He will spread joy and bliss through his thoughts, words, and actions. And what are we spreading? What am I spreading? What are you spreading? Joy is the realization of the future, and the eyes of a person with nirvanic consciousness will be blissful sources of energy. Just remember Patriji's eyes. They were so blissful. And he will be in contact with higher spheres, and he will know how and where to live, how to evoke the presence of the Supreme in everyone he meets. Reminds me of Patriji, where he addresses everyone as God, as master, as a friend. He evokes the Supreme in every person that he meets. Isn't that beautiful to know? Isn't that beautiful to understand, my dear friends? Ultimate bliss. Being in nirvanic consciousness. That's what Patriji says. Sansar mein nirvan. Attain nirvana by being in samsara. By fulfilling your family responsibilities, by fulfilling all your responsibilities, and still yet attain nirvanic consciousness. It's such a wonderful thing to ponder upon. And once Plato said that the future leaders of humanity will be philosophers. A philosopher in the true meaning of the word is a person who is dedicated to wisdom. Wisdom is achieved only after one's consciousness begins to function in the intuitional and nirvanic planes. Where is our consciousness functioning? What interests us? What do we identify ourselves with? What is our consciousness? What is constantly in our mind? Where is our consciousness? A wise person is a harmless person. Harmlessness is not a passive attitude, my dear friends. Some people believe that it is an attitude of yielding, agreeing, or getting along with people. Like, you are submissive, you're being submissive. Being submissive is not being harmless. But the true harmlessness is an action or attitude which provides the possibility of the evolution and creativity of other people and does not hinder their progressive advancement on the path. That is being harmless. You don't stop others from being progressive, from being creative, from their evolution. That is being harmless. Isn't it, my dear friends? So, are we all wise persons or not? Harmless in our intentions, in our emotions, in our thoughts, in our speech, and in our actions. So here we need to understand two things. Harmlessness can be divided into two kinds of action. One, that is doing things that help people to follow their path of perfection and creativity, and not doing things that are harmful and that prevent the progress of people on the path of their perfection and creativity. You help people to become perfect and creative, and you stop doing things that are harmful for them, which are preventing them to become perfect and creative. As simple as that. This is harmlessness definition for you, my dear friends. And a harmless person may take those actions that create joy for others, or those actions that cause people suffering but make them ready or anxious to grow or to become righteous, cleaner, more beautiful, and free. That is harmlessness, my dear friends. Being harmless doesn't mean just that, you're not beating or you're not abusing someone. It is not just that. Harmlessness is a state of being. What are you creating for others? Is what the question is here. And a wise person always strives towards purity. And purification is a process of expanding control of the self over the not self. There can be no control if there is no purity. And when the control of the self increases, it purifies and repolarizes all the personality vehicles. And in the purification process, we try to be free from those elements that nourish germs and emotional and mental weaknesses in our nature. And that is the reason why I have conducted in the last few months, I have conducted tri-body detox meditation, process of purifying all the three bodies. If anytime in the future you wish to do the purification process, do join in the tri-body detox program. Purity is very, very, very important, my dear friends. The purification process is to become the self and to not become your not self. So our future, my dear friends, is within us. And if we realize it and let it come into fruition, my dear friends, and how can we attain our future? This is a practical meditation that you can do, all of us can do. We can do a daily short meditation about our future. For 10 to 15 minutes daily, think about the 7 futures described above. Visualize yourself as one who has a future, who lives in the future, who is the future. And if such a meditation is done patiently, wisely, and with perseverance, it will create the thought form of the future in your mind. And the mighty thought form will be magnetic to objects, ideas, persons, and events which will help you to achieve your future. And it will also release the energies latent in your core. This is a beautiful meditation which you can do, my dear friends. Keep in mind all these 7 futures of the human being and work on them slowly and steadily. Every day do 10 to 15 minutes of meditation on this one. And you see how your future will attract yourself into it. Then we come to the final point for today's class. How can the people of the future be recognized? How can they be identified? Is one of the questions. If I want to show myself as a future-oriented person, then what qualities do I have to have? These are the qualities of a future-oriented person, my dear friends. People of the future are progressive. They have a sense of striving towards greater achievements. And people of the future steadily improve their thoughts, expressions, and labor. Progressive people are courageous and daring people because the future works for those who work for the future. Isn't it really nice to listen to this? The future works for those who work for the future. And people have the fear of failing. People of the future have faith. Faith is part of the future. Isn't this wonderful, my dear friends? Progressive. That is the first quality of a future-oriented person. He or she is progressive. They have a sense of striving. And the second point is that people of the future strive for freedom. Freedom from the limitations of the 3 lower bodies, illusions, glamours, habits, etc. To be free means to disengage the sun from the eclipse caused by the moon. The moon is all that is related to the personality. The sun is related to the soul, the self. In ancient times, whenever there was an eclipse of the sun, people used to make every kind of noise to release the sun from the power of darkness and shadow, until the sun freed itself and shone again. And similarly, we must make every kind of effort to release our souls from any kind of slavery, my dear friends. We are all bound. We are all slaves of our 3 bodies, of our illusions, of our glamours, of our habits. The moon is a personality. The sun is your soul. So then we need to become our sun, my dear friends, our own sun. And that is the second quality of a future-oriented person, my dear friends. They strive for freedom. Every second, every hour, they go on trying to free themselves from every kind of slavery. And people of the future work for synthesis. That is the third quality of a future-oriented person, my dear friends. People of the future work for synthesis, interconnectedness, and interdependency. They do not live a life of rejection, denial, repulsion, and separatism, but they relate all that is available to them in such a way that a completeness of energies is created, containing rhythm, harmony, and melody. Are we working for synthesis? Are we working for interconnectedness? Are we working for interdependency, my dear friends? Are you living a life of rejection, denial, repulsion, and separatism? Is noise coming out of you, or is melody, rhythm, and harmony coming out of you? Are you playing beautiful music, or is there gibberish? Is there noise? Because you're not finely tuned. People of the future have the power to organize, to bring together, to assemble, and to create benevolent activities for humanity, my dear friends. We all need to check, do we have that in us? Do we possess those qualities, yes or no? And people of the future are not slowed down when hindrances, karmic obstacles, and dark attacks appear on their path. The future of such people is a source of inspiration and energy. That is the fourth quality of a future-oriented person, my dear friends. The enthusiasm and energy of people of the future increase when obstacles try to stand on their path. Hindrances make them accelerate their speed of evolution. I'm sorry, just a second. So what is the fourth point, my dear friends? Whenever we have a problem in our life, are we slowed down? Do we go into depression? Do we go into sadness? Are we excited or being enthusiastic that, yes, the obstacles have come? Our karmic obstacles have come. And dark forces are concentrating on me. They become more enthusiastic because of these obstacles are coming onto their way. And hindrances make them accelerate their speed of evolution. But then, are we a future-oriented person or not? My dear friends. People often think that obstacles on the path are painful, gloomy, restrictive things. But there are many kinds of obstacles. Some obstacles are created by our pleasures, desires, habits, hypocrisy, and feelings of safety and importance. We create our own pains, my dear friends. We create our own traps by bringing all these unwanted aspects into our life. We create obstacles for ourselves, by ourselves. And we feel pain in our own obstacles. So, if we have something of a habit, and if that habit doesn't get fulfilled, then it is painful for us. If there's something that gives us pleasure and we cannot attain that something which gives us pleasure, then we become unhappy. Think about this once again, my dear friends. The obstacles that you are being faced with, are they your self-made traps, or are they really obstacles on your path? Is what you need to think. Fifth one, my dear friends, People of the future are endowed with the power of detachment. They are detached, but not cold and separative. They are detached. That's it. And you cannot involve them in your glamours, illusions, personality weaknesses, and vices. You cannot do that. But are we sometimes attracted to do those things? Sometimes. They are detached not only from the traps of other people, but also from their own personality traps. They stand as pure souls. They radiate love, but never fuse with the pollution of people around them. They are even detached from their own past limitations. Are we all detached persons? Do we all have this quality of being a future-oriented person? Traps by other people and also self-made traps. Detachment, my dear friends, that is the fifth quality of a future-oriented person. The sixth quality of a future-oriented person is that people of the future have clarity of thinking. It is such a great achievement to be able to think clearly. And clarity of thought gives us the power of directness and simplicity. The future increases our light. The future increases our light, my dear friends. It doesn't bring darkness. And when we have clarity of thinking, everything is light. Everything we can see clearly. We know where what is. We are aware of things. Now we know how to face everything because we have clarity. And it makes present things to be seen according to their true value, not as they appear. We can see things exactly as they are, not as they appear, my dear friends. That is what clarity of thinking is. We stop seeing everything as it appears to our physical eyes. But then when we expand our consciousness, we have lots of clarity in thinking and we see things exactly as they are. Isn't that such a relief to see exactly how they are, not how they appear? And it helps us to see the causes of events and their effects. What we see some effect and we don't get carried by it, but we see the causes of it. That is what a future-oriented person does. And we come to the seventh and the final quality of a future-oriented person, my dear friends. And people of the future have the virtue of steadfastness. They are not flickering lights or lukewarm people, but people of strength and steadfastness. When such people promise, they do not change their word. And when they decide, they do. Their dedication is final and their love is permanent. Steadfastness, my dear friends. That is what is being in integrity and unified with your own self. Are you what you say? Are you what you do? Are you what you think? This is what is being honest and genuine is. Being steadfast. Just remind yourself of the various promises that you must have made in your life. And how many times have you promised just like that? Just to manage the situation or just to evade the person, just to avoid that person from causing further trouble. Have you made any promises to seem trustworthy, to make everyone trust you? And did you fail those promises? The time to recheck ourselves has come. And that is the seventh quality of a future-oriented person, my dear friends. Steadfastness. We're not coming here and go, here and go. We are there, we are not there, we are there, not there. We are always there. We're always this shining light, never switching off, not flickering like this. And finally, my dear friends, in summary, we may say that the vision of the future encourages us, inspires daring and striving, increases our joy, keeps us going upon the path of perfection, and helps us become better servers. Serving what? Not the three lower bodies, not the physical, emotional, and mental bodies, but the higher self. Serving the higher will causes integration and integrity in the whole nature, generates psychic energy within us, and uplifts and enlightens everyone. That is the vision of the future, and that is a visionary person, my dear friends. People know the law of cause and effect. When you plant cucumber seeds, nature gives you cucumbers. In the future, you will harvest the fruits of the seeds which you are planting now, or which you planted in the past. And in the mental plane, this law is somewhat reversed. Okay, as you sow, so you reap. But in the mental plane, you visualize yourself, your future, the flowers and the fruits, and it affects and controls your present, my dear friends. Your dreams about your future, your hopes for your future, and your faith in the future changes your thinking, feelings, and actions, as if the future through remote control is operating. You create your own reality, my dear friends. You are creating your own future by visualizing it. You dream about your future. You build it, and slowly you actualize it. And people must learn that they can change and control their threefold mechanism through their future, through the vision of their future. And what is this threefold mechanism? The physical, emotional, and mental mechanisms. So that happens in the mental plane, my dear friends. And we must remember that the future is a core, it is the self. And we bring the self into operation through our conscious striving. The self will change our life. It is the self, it is you. You are being that, you are the future. We need to consciously strive for that, continuously strive for that, my dear friends. And the people who live in the consciousness of the past are usually full of remorse, hatred, anger, revenge, and self-pity. Such people cannot confront the conditions of the present and adapt themselves to them. But people of the future not only adapt themselves to the conditions of the present, but they also have the power to change the present by the vision of the future. Just see the difference between these two, my dear friends. Do we live in the consciousness of the past, or do we live in the consciousness of the future? Joy and enthusiasm are always in the person when he contacts the future and tries to actualize it. And past no more controls us. When we become the consciousness of the future, past can never control us. It can never influence us, my dear friends. We are no more living in hatred or remorse or anger or animosities or revenge or self-pity. We own our power. We know that we are powerful. And feeling the power of the future, people created certain concepts to approach it. For example, a plan is related to the future. If that plan promotes, these 5 are very, very, very crucial, my dear friends. Beauty, goodness, righteousness, joy, freedom, striving, and sacrificial service are very, very, very important things to consider when you're talking about the future. And similarly, a purpose is a future if it is related to the vision of perfection. Whenever you're thinking of the future, my dear friends, please consider these 7 points. These are 7 stars, if I have to say. Beauty, goodness, righteousness, joy, freedom, striving, and sacrificial service. And standards of higher achievement are related to the future. Principles are guideposts for the future. A blueprint is related to the future. The words perfection, improvement, and achievement are related to the future. And the future is an invisible magnet which evokes striving in each living form to actualize its inner glory. What does future mean to you right now? After this, write about it, ponder about it, think about it, feel it, and create a blueprint for yourself. Start actualizing your future. And these are a few exercises that you can do for the future. Try to think about the beauty of your future. Try to speak and act inspired by your future. Contemplate about the future of humanity. And never allow yourself to be eaten by the moon. This is a strange expression which means remember your true self, abide in it, and do not identify with your inertia, glamours, and illusions. When we say eaten by the moon, remember what we spoke about earlier. Your moon means your personality. Don't be eaten by your moon, my dear friends. And observe the people around you and try to discover those who are oriented towards the future, who are capable of growing and expanding and of being inclusive and free from their own limitations. Surround yourself with those kind of people, my dear friends, and not with the persons who are slaves of the past. If you want to become future conscious, discover those kinds of people and be with them. Learn from them. To live in the future, my dear friends, means to live an efficient, creative life which brings beauty, health, and joy to the world. That is the final slide of this presentation, my dear friends. To live in the future means to live an efficient, creative life which brings beauty, health, and joy to the world. Thank you so much, my dear friends, for giving me this opportunity to share what I've learned with you. And I hope it has helped you, whoever is watching me live on Zoom and live on YouTube. I hope there's a new perspective which you might want to think about, which you might have learned today and put into actualization. Actualizing it is very, very important. You are the future. You are the future. It's as simple as that. And that is what we need. That is what you are. It's not somewhere distant. Your future is not somewhere distant. You are the future. And it's here. Waiting to happen. Waiting to manifest. Waiting to actualize. Thank you so much, and everyone.